Hey, wait a minute. You're Elvish Reviews, right?
Yeah, you're Adam from Blockbusters?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan of your work!
Media Wiz has told me so much about you.
Oh, I'm glad he has. I'm glad someone is, at least.
Yeah.
How have you been? What you doing?
Good. I'm doing a video.
On what?
Those dumb Mickey Mouse horror movies.
Ciao.
No, you are joining me with this one. Come on. Yes. Yeah, that face. That's how it felt to watch these movies, honestly. So welcome back to the Blockbusters show. I am Adam Sykes and I am joined by...
Elvish from Elvish Reviews, where I just review stuff.
And today we're talking about movies that you were fortunate enough to not actually watch.
Yeah, so you're gonna educate me.
Yeah, oh god. So if you've been keeping up with Blockbusters, you know that I've been talking about these terrible, horrible public domain horror movies. I talked about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, its sequel. This one's not technically one of them, but Freddy's Fridays, which was a crappy ripoff of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie from the same company. There's just a bunch of other ones that... Oh, the Mean One, which was that... it wasn't technically public domain, but it's in the same category. It's that terrible horror parody of The Grinch.
Oh, God.
And yeah, now we're talking about the Mickey Mouse ones. I know there's a bunch of other ones, and I know the video is going to be called Public Domain Horror Movie Catch-Up, but I sat through some of them, and this is my limit with bad movies. This is a little insider secret. If I can't get past 20 minutes, I will not talk about it for a video. So I watched a couple of them. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, I sat through most of it, and I was like, this isn't very good.
You poor thing.
But it wasn't one of the worst ones, but it still wasn't very good. I mean, it was pretty much just Evil Dead meets Stephen King's It, and the killer is supposed to be Peter Pan.
Alright, so answer me this. How come every movie that becomes in the public domain has to be made into a horror movie?
Because this is just the stupid trend that we're following. And you can look forward to this trend. It's never going to die, at least not for the rest, until the end of this decade. They're going to keep doing it. The original comic book that Superman came from, Action Comics, that is going into the public domain soon. So you can expect some jagoff out there to make a terrible public domain horror movie about it.
Damn it.
There's a bunch of other ones. Like there's that Bambi horror movie that came out a couple weeks ago. I didn't see that, but allegedly it's one of the better ones, but I don't care enough to watch it, at least not yet.
I heard of the Winnie the Pooh one.
Yeah, that one. I talked about that and its sequel a long time ago. And speaking of which, there's apparently a spin-off movie called Piglet, which is pretty much just a glorified fan film. I watched 20 minutes of it, and it's kind of better than Blood and Honey, but that's not saying anything.
Yeah, that's such a low bar to reach.
Yeah. So, but for this video, there are these Mickey Mouse themed horror movies because the original Mickey Mouse cartoon, Steamboat Willie, went into the public domain at the beginning of last year. And I guarantee you, after this video comes out, there's still going to be like a million of these Mickey Mouse horror movies. But I'm going to talk about 4 of them specifically, so yeah, we're going to talk about those. There are 2 that I saw the trailer for, and I looked for them, but I couldn't find them. There was one called Mickey's Sleigh House. And then there's another one called I Heart Willie, which I think was like US-Mexico co-production or something. It came out last year, I guess.
And with the Steamboat Willie tune, the whistle tune that's going on in my head, like that could be made into a horror movie soundtrack. That's in some of them. Oh, God.
So yeah, let's get to the 4 that we're going to talk about. So the first one that came out, and it's the first one I watched, was The Mousetrap. It was originally Mickey's Mousetrap, but then at the last second, the people that made it bitched out and were like, we probably are going to get sued if we call it that. So, and the final title just makes it sound like a horror film based on the old Hasbro board game.
Oh, God.
This one's terrible. I'm gonna say that about all these pretty much, but okay, so first of all, the movie begins with this, the opening credits are done in a Star Wars parody for some reason that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Not since Marmaduke 2023 have I seen such a pointless recreation of the Star Wars opening text crawl.
Well, Star Wars is now owned by Disney, so there you go.
Do you think that's why they did it?
Maybe.
God. But then, right off the bat, this movie, it's one of those movies where it's all with a framing device, where you have someone who's recounting the story to someone else. In this case, you have this goth girl who's telling the story to two cops that are interrogating her. And they're interrogating her in a place that doesn't look like a typical cop interrogation room. It looks like they're filming on a set from the 60s Batman show. Like, she's in a jail cell, and there's like a cave wall behind her. I'm like, where the hell are they?
A lot of people are dead, and a lot more want to know why. Right now.
Why? It's not nearly as interesting as how.
And it's also one of those framing devices where the person who's telling the story isn't in most of the story they're telling. So it's like, how are you telling the story when you weren't present for most of it? Then you actually get to the plot. And the first half of the movie, it keeps jumping back and forth like every 5 minutes between girl in the cell telling the story and then the story itself. And then it's just so repetitive. But that's the least of this movie's problems. So this movie takes place in some actual restaurant, bar, arcade place called, I think, Fun Haven. Mm-hmm. And at least I think it's a real place. It has to be a real place because this movie, for the first 30 minutes, feels like B-roll for a commercial. Because they're constantly showing you, like, look at the awesome arcade cabinets we have. Look at all the awesome prizes you can win. It really feels like the people who own this Fun Haven place, it's like they told them, hey, you're going to film in our place, but you also have to make it look extremely awesome. And you also can't get too much fake blood on there because they really don't have that much gore in this movie. So even if you're going to watch this movie for the easy gore effects, don't do that because there's really not a whole lot of gore in this movie. But anyway, we have an incredibly cliche cast of characters. It really feels like something out of Not Another Teen Movie with how everyone is portrayed. You have the nerd, you have the jock who hangs out with his hockey buddies. You have main girl, you have goth girl who's recounting the story. All it was missing was the funny fat guy and the token black guy. But like you just have this like extremely stereotypical lineup of characters. And this one has the most obnoxious writing out of all of them. It definitely feels like they watched Scream a bunch of times and they were like, hey, horror movies that are self-aware and constantly point out horror movie tropes. We can do that. So every few scenes you have characters who are like, if this was a horror movie, those two just like walked off by themselves. If this was a horror movie, they'd totally die.
And he's dead.
What?
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, I'll be right back.
So there's an appropriate way to break the fourth wall, but it sounds like they're just trying to. It's sort of like they're knocking on the wall's door going, hey, can we break you? Or, hey, can you come in?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it really is just like the worst attempt at trying to be self-aware. The worst instance of it is when it's one of the scenes between the goth girl and the cops, and one of the cops, the way they say it too is like it feels like something out of a sitcom. Like, like the girl's telling about how two characters walked off to have sex or something in like the play area of this place, and one of the cops is like, now, are you describing what happened, or are you describing the subplot to a bad 90s horror movie?
Wait, is this some terrible subplot of a 90s slasher film?
So you're probably wondering, hey, when does the Mickey Mouse stuff happen? Well, here's what happens. The boss of this place, he goes up to his office, which has a projector, and he starts watching the old Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie cartoon. And let it be known that I forgot to bring this up earlier. This movie, the trailer for it dropped the same day as them announcing that Steamboat Willie went into the public domain. So it's like they made this movie in advance, waiting for that to happen, so then they go, hey, check out our crappy horror movie. Look, see, this is new and hip. We're going to be the first ones to do this. So, yeah, that's terrible. But anyway.
Being first doesn't always mean that you're going to be the best.
Right. And also being the first and or best of Mickey Mouse horror movies, that's a sad hill to die on, honestly.
That is.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's in his office and he's watching a projection of the old Steamboat Willie cartoon because they're allowed to show it because it's public domain now. And the mask, he has like this Mickey Mouse rubber mask that I guess speaks to him. And at first I'm thinking, well, he's supposed to be a heavy drinker, so maybe he's like imagining this. But then later on he puts the mask on and it gives him abilities. He can teleport. Like,
or Norman Osborn in the first Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
The mask speaks to him.
That's pretty much what it felt like. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, yeah, he looks at the case with the mask, and the mask is like looking at him, and he's looking inquisitively, like, "Am I drunk, or is this really happening?" Like,
I can see you. Do you want to see me? Do you want to see what I see?
Oh, that's the other thing. Okay, you're gonna do a movie about an evil Mickey Mouse, and maybe you can't do it because legal reasons and you can't use the voice or whatever. But the guy doing the Mickey Mouse voice, I'm pretty sure it's the same actor. He sounds more like Ghostface from Scream. Oh. Like he just said, like, "Come here. Do you like scary movies?" Like that's what it sounds like.
What do you want, huh? You want to kill me? Run.
None of these Mickey Mouse horror movies have him speak like Mickey Mouse. That was just weird. Again, I don't know if that was them trying not to get sued by Disney, but...
Yeah, because I think Mickey Mouse's voice is probably copyrighted by Disney because Mickey Mouse was originally voiced by Walt Disney himself.
Yep.
So the voice is probably off limits.
Yeah, so the guy puts the rubber mask on. This is like 30 minutes into this like hour and 30-minute movie. And I remember this entire opening 30 minutes, I kept checking the time to see like if it was halfway through. But it was 30 minutes in and I went, "This is excruciating. Holy shit." A guy in a rubber Mickey Mouse mask and a hockey jersey goes around killing people. Apparently he has powers because he has the ability to teleport through the power of jump cut. They eventually find out his weakness is flashing a flashlight in his face a bunch of times. This horror movie doesn't have a lot of gore in it, so like even the people who are like, "Oh, I don't care if the movie's dumb, as long as it has some gory kills, maybe it'll be entertaining." No, there is none of that here. So it's like any kind of like, "Oh, this is just dumb horror movie fun." There's not even that in this movie.
There's no need to do anything else.
Then you get to the just really dumbass ending. Like they're holding him down, they're flashing the flashlights in his face, and then he teleports away, and they're like, well, main girl's like, well, I guess we did it. I guess we killed him. Her head gets cut off with a really crappy effect you'd see out of like Thanksgiving. And then they're like, whoa, main girl's dead.
He's not coming back.
And then the credits just roll, and I'm like, what? And but then they end it with a Marvel post-credits sequence because Goth Girl, who's being interrogated, you hear the screams of the cops off-screen, like the cops are getting killed. Her cell door opens up, and you hear Mickey's voice and says, like, "You and me got work to do." So, sequel bait, which, yes, they are making a sequel to this movie. Fuck everything.
Come play with me. I have so many people I want you to meet, and we're just getting started.
I'm confused. Where's the trap in Mousetrap? Because when I hear Mousetrap, I think a mixture of Mickey Mouse and the Saw movies.
Yeah, right? Well, it's like when they capture him, they just flash a flashlight in his face, and then two guys like hold him down, and he's just like, "Let go of me," and it's just like, this is lame. This is really lame.
It sounded lame.
It's the light, isn't it? You can't move, can you? Game over.
It feels like they made it as they went along, which granted, that's how a lot of these feel anyway. But this one in particular, it's like honestly, it feels like they had a really loose idea of a horror movie, and they're like, this is really generic. How are we going to get people to watch this? Well, let me tell you, next year Mickey Mouse goes into the public domain with that Steamboat Willie thing. Okay, that's the gimmick of the movie, and it's a lame gimmick. And that's just the first one. We got 3 more.
Oh God, Lord help us all.
I never got to ask her out, and he just cut her head off.
And teleported away.
What a complete
Okay, the next one was... Oh, Jesus. Oh, the next one was Mouse of Horrors. Which this is one of the two from the same distribution company that did Blood and Honey. So, yeah. This one, it's made in England, so, you know, expect a lot of British accents from the footage. And, well, okay, this one is about... You got the arbitrary young people who end up going somewhere they're not supposed to, and they're gonna obviously get killed. In this case, it's some, like, fairground that they sneak into when they're not supposed to. But here's the big kick of this movie. So you have a mad scientist who has created these half-human, half-animal abominations. He's created two of them. One that's supposed to be half man, half mouse, and the other one is half man, half bear. And they reuse the mask from the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie.
Oh, God.
Always seem to find the wrong body parts. You? Wicked temper when you don't get your way.
The mad scientist says to his two abominations, hey, you know, gather up some women, and I will mutilate their parts, and I'll Frankenstein them into a bride for both of you. And then halfway through the movie, or I guess like near the end of the movie, I don't even remember, it turns out that, oh, he was just using them to get women so he can make a Frankenstein bride for himself. All the while you have really terrible acting, and even worse production value compared to Mousetrap. I mean, there are several scenes where they're filming outside, and the wind is so bad you could barely make out what they're saying.
Got the new cover art for my new book. Just arrived today. It's even better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, it's a creepy looking Mickey Mouse, like it's way creepier looking than the one in Mousetrap. But then there are several scenes where you can tell it's just a guy in a flat mask. Like, you see him from side view, and you see just a guy's head with like the strap in the back, and I'm like, they didn't try. They didn't fucking try.
Say cheese.
Does it really matter? Main girl and her best friend end up escaping. A bunch of other characters die. This one is gorier than Mousetrap, so I guess if you're looking for the goriest one of these, this is probably the one to go with. But again, don't watch it. Main girl saves her best friend. They have a showdown with the mad scientist guy because he basically pits the evil Mickey Mouse and the evil Winnie the Pooh against each other. They fight for a while.
Whoever puts it on the bride first, have the bride first.
Evil Mickey Mouse pushes evil Winnie the Pooh off of a dock, and he ends up falling into a lake, or not a lake, he falls into the ocean, and a crappy-ass CGI shark eats him.
Since this is Disney, they could have done a parody of The Lion King. I killed Mufasa.
Oh, you say that. Just wait till we get to the last one of these. That's filled to the brim with really horribly unfunny Disney references.
Oh.
So, yeah, like, evil Mickey Mouse kills evil Winnie the Pooh, and then main girl ends up shooting evil Mickey Mouse. This is what I mean when I say ITN is kind of like the British version of the Asylum. The effects in this movie are god-awful. The ending shot of the movie is they're standing in front of like a tank filled with fluid that like the Frankenstein bride is like floating inside of, but it's clearly just like a crappy Photoshop, and then they like swing some bats at a thing that's clearly not there in the scene, and then they add like these terrible green screen like water like fluid breaking effects. It's terrible. Oh, and then it ends with a post-credit thing again, but in the post-credit thing, it shows like the mad scientist guy getting out of the water. So, is this gonna get a sequel? I hope to God not.
He looks like a rat.
It's gorier than Mousetrap, and I guess if you're looking for some cheap gore as a horror fan, maybe. but even still, don't. I watched it for free on Tubi, and I still feel ripped off. But, yeah, on to the third one. The third one is Mouseboat Massacre, which is probably the worst title of the bunch. Honestly. But here's the sad thing. Not only is it from the same company as Mouse of Horrors, but they actually reference this one in Mouse of Horrors because you have a character who... main girl is talking about her dad wrote a book, and it's like, oh, it's called Mouseboat Massacre. And then they went ahead and made that into a movie.
And he's actually working on a new book again.
Oh my gosh, what's it about?
So he's actually calling it Mouseboat Massacre.
No way! Your dad's new book is that urban legend?
Yeah.
So I know I'm wrong. Steamboat Willie versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, you're definitely wrong. You know what it's a ripoff of? The Ring. Cursed VHS tape and everything.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why? If we're calling a movie, what was it?
Mouseboat Massacre.
Mouseboat Massacre.
It's not even clever. Mouseboat
So like
Massacre.
Mousetrap and Mouseboat Massacre
Mouse
have
of
nothing
Horrors
to
is a better
do
title.
what the titles are referencing. Like Mousetrap, Mickey Mouse meets Saw, Mouseboat Massacre, Mickey Mouse versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Damn. And I'm the one that watched the movie, and you're already getting flustered. Yeah, this one's a ripoff of The Ring. You have cursed VHS tape, and, well, you have this main girl with her family, and she has a very quirky family because her brother is a virgin, and the first scene you see with him, he's basically like adjusting his pants, like he was going to jack off, but, you know, then his mother told him to stop. That's uncomfortable.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
And even more uncomfortable, her sister is like this OnlyFans e-girl, and there's this running subplot with her and a client of hers, and they're talking about her doing things for money, giving him private shows. It's the entire thing is just creepy because you just imagine that those actors were like, wait, you want me to do what in this film?
Looks like time's up. Sorry it couldn't be longer. I hope it made your birthday good.
And virgin brother, he falls in love with a girl that they meet at a gas station at one point, and, well, you know they're going to die.
If near St. Iwerks.
It's about a 10-minute bike ride.
What? Great, I'll message you.
So they get to the house, and main girl in this one, she has, she's getting over addictions to, I guess, drugs, or we can only assume it's drugs or alcoholism or something. And it turns out the whole thing is basically this vacation they were going on is an intervention because they have their therapist with her.
Give me back my bag. Right now.
I'm sorry, Mimi. I wish us seeing each other here were under better circumstances. Sorry.
Why the fuck is my therapist here?
Is the therapist allowed to even be on vacation with them?
It's weirder because the scenes where they actually try to have real character drama, you're like, don't try. Don't try to have real character drama in a movie called Mouseboat Massacre.
I hated my life. I hated my job. And I'd like nothing better than getting back to my flat after a day of being yelled at work to smoke something that some sketchy weird guy told me was good shit.
Yeah, but I think under the ACA, or the American Counseling Association, you're not really supposed to be vacationing. Speaking realistically, a therapist should never go on a full vacation, even if it's an intervention for a client. There's many other ways you could do that. You can have the intervention in the therapist's office.
Or at their house.
Or at the house, depending on the situation, but not create a pretend vacation, because that's unethical.
And so how she ends up watching the tape is they tell her, hey, you're having withdrawals. You should stay away from your phone and be doom scrolling all day. Though they let her use her laptop in one scene, so. Yeah. But anyway, so they're like, hey, there's a bunch of old VHS tapes in the basement. Try watching some of that. And of course, one of the tapes it's basically the tape from The Ring, but replace the evil girl in it with Mickey Mouse. and they're animated horribly. They look like something out of something Jimmy Screamer Claus would make. It's basically just a crappy horror movie. The brother and his girlfriend, would-be girlfriend, they end up dying. The doctor and the mother go driving out to find them, but they end up getting killed. By the way, I feel the need to point out, the Mickey Mouse in this movie, his weapon of choice is a cheese grater. So if you ever wanted a movie where the killer uses a cheese grater as a weapon, I don't know why you'd want that, but this is the movie for you. He ends up killing the dad and the sister, and like the entire time I'm like, man, the movie wanted to have these serious moments where the characters are talking about like, yeah, I really want you to get better, I want you to get over your addictions. It's like, why is this in this movie? This feels so like disconnected. It's like, this should be its own movie, just a drama about this family. Although I gotta say, this has the most abrupt ending out of all of these movies.
Really?
Even more so than Mousetrap.
Do tell.
The main girl, she's like, oh man, everyone in my family is dead. So she tries breaking the tape in two, which then makes the Mickey Mouse in this one, which by the way, I love it. It's just a guy in a black bodysuit with gloves and like overalls and a crappy rubber Mickey Mouse mask, armed with a cheese grater. And so she like snaps the tape in two, and then he like glitches out of existence. Which is probably the most impressive effect in the whole movie, and that's not saying anything. But then, for one final scare, he then chases after her through the woods, and then, I love it, she goes, wait, just one more, pulls out a cigarette, lights it, flicks it at him, he bursts into flames, she walks off into the distance, and the movie is over.
Go fuck yourself.
Not since that crappy Leprechaun reboot produced by the WWE, not since the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey have I seen a movie end that abruptly.
And if they were to make a sequel, maybe then Mickey Mouse should try streaming.
What?
Instead of VHS, you should try streaming.
Oh god, do you think they're gonna do that with a Ring reboot at some point? It'll be Ring, and then you see like it's like a blue ring of death or whatever.
On Netflix.
Exactly. Oh fuck. Anyway, we've come to the last one.
Thank God.
This is probably the best one.
What?
Now that's not to say it's a good movie, but it's probably the best one of not just these crappy Mickey Mouse ones, but it's probably the best of these dumb public domain horror movies. So at the
bottom of this Mickey Mouse horror movie barrel, this is the best they could do?
Yes. And it's called Screamboat. And it's from the guy that did the Mean One. Stephen Lamorte, I think is his name. He did the Mean One, some TV stuff, and I think he did a bunch of like internet shorts too. But okay, so this one, it looks the most like a real movie compared to these other ones, which look like crappy ass YouTube videos.
Okay.
This one actually has somewhat decent acting, and this one actually tries somewhat to connect to Disney, outside of just the constant, oh, we're using Mickey Mouse as a horror movie killer.
Okay.
So, like I said, not a good movie, but out of all these stupid public domain horror movies with the Mickey Mouses and the Winnie the Poohs and all that, this is probably the best one. Okay. Glowing recommendation, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, Screamboat. This one is about, there's a ferry in New York, and it's about to take off, and apparently this ferry has seen some shit. Because, buried below, deep within the bowels of the ship, is an evil rat man who's the size of an actual rodent in the movie, which is probably the only effect in the movie that doesn't look good. There's some green screen where they try to make him look tiny. It doesn't look that good. It's the same actor who played the Mean One in the Mean One, and he's also Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies. All you get throughout this movie is he whistles. And they do try to like sort of make a horror movie.
Whistle while you work. Do.
Pretty much, yeah. You have main girl. There's a kind of love interest with a guy who works on the boat named Pete. Because, yeah.
Okay.
And that's just one of the many Disney references we got here. I mean, you also have... they sort of did the same thing in the Mean one, except that was with Dr. Seuss references. Mm-hmm. This one, they try to do it with, like, Walt Disney and Disney movie references.
My way. I want to be where the people are.
Teo! We're coming to get you! Just keep swimming!
Dinner's served. Please, be our guest down in the grand ballroom.
We'd basically be frozen. Let it go.
We're all a little mad here.
It is a small world after all.
Because there's this obnoxious group of party girls that are on the boat.
Please, ladies, tickets, please.
No, it's my birthday. She's not paying for anything. Isn't the ferry free?
They're just obnoxious valley girls who kind of pester the main character for the first half. There's some other characters on the boat. There's a crazy old man who basically serves as exposition, which is the exact same thing they did in the Mean one.
Told tales of an imaginative, joyous, kind-hearted captain by the name of Walter.
You have a lady halfway through turns out to be working with Steamboat Willie, like to the point where she shows her allegiance by wearing a helmet that has mouse ears on it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Kind of sold. It's like, that's so dumb. I couldn't help but laugh at it.
Tom, what the?
I'm taking orders from a new captain now.
Subtle.
So would that person be Minnie Mouse?
Well, it's funny you say that because that becomes a plot point. Because all throughout the movie, main girl like keeps seeing this Willy creature, and again, the costume on it is actually way better than the other Mickey Mouse horror movie. Like they actually have like matted fur, and they try to make him look kind of like a half man, half rodent creature. It actually doesn't look that bad. Again, the only thing that kind of sucks is the green screen. That's not that good. But the first time she sees him, he looks smitten with her. And then when they go into his backstory, that's the other thing that's kind of lame, the backstory itself. Because it turns out that he was discovered by a man who worked on the sea vessel he originally worked on called Walt, or Walter.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Willie was some kind of experiment abandoned in the cargo hold. They were trying to make him more animated. He became his friend. He gave Willie his freedom, his dignity, and his purpose.
And it was at that point I was like, am I not just describing the exact same movie over and over again?
I feel like you are at this point.
I will say, this whole flashback sequence where they're showing this backstory, it's animated in the style of like that old 1920s black and white style. Okay. And it actually isn't that bad. It's way better than it was in Mouseboat Massacre. But yeah, I mean, like a bunch of people on the boat die. This is some pretty gory and gruesome deaths in this one. The ending of the movie, what happens at the end is once main girl realizes that not only is Willie trying to get back with Walter, who's not alive anymore, we can only assume, but he also wants to get back with his long-lost love, who is supposed to be Minnie Mouse. So I love it because main girl dresses up in a polka-dotted dress with these terrible makeshift mouse ears.
Where's my brave Willie? Come to me. Who loves you? That's right, just a little bit closer.
And she distracts him long enough to to try and injure him to get him away from this kid who she's trying to basically protect because his parents, I think, died earlier in the movie. It basically comes down to we got to help save this kid and make sure he doesn't die. And then she ends up basically knocking him overboard. They get back to harbor safe. There's a bunch of stuff in the middle of the movie where main girl is like talking about, I might want to leave New York and I might just give up on my dreams. And then at the end of the movie, they try to tie it back full circle. And she goes like, oh, well, I might go back to school and I want to accomplish my dreams, whatever those dreams were. And then the movie ends with, of course, sequel bait. It ends with, oh, hey, it turns out, I guess, Minnie Mouse is still alive because you see a figure in a polka dotted dress picking up, like grabbing him out of the trash where he like floated to. also implied that Pete is still alive because earlier they killed him in the movie, but I guess he's still okay. Who really cares? It doesn't really matter.
Stuck down here.
Pete.
Fuck.
Hello? Hey, Pete, can you hear me? Pete, come in!
Let's get everybody together. Donald, Goofy, Pluto.
Goofy horror movie honestly sounds... No, I was going to say that sounds pretty good, but you know what? If it's anything like the rest of these, it's going to suck ass.
We're already dead. If we don't get the hell out of here, we're dead too. Let's go!
So overall, if you're going to watch any of these, watch Screamboat. And even then, that's like, if you're willing to tolerate stupid shit in horror movies, then go for it. I mean, if you're able to watch the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies and be like, yeah, those were actually kind of fun, then yeah, I guess so. All these other ones, though, don't waste your time. Don't do it. So yeah, anyways, that does it for Blockbusters show in this month. Look forward to next month. We got 2 new movie reviews coming up, and I'm also going to be doing an anime review for Spy Family, or Spy X Family, however you want to call it. And thank you, Elvish Reviews, for joining me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me against my will.
I didn't make you watch all these movies. That's the silver lining here.
True, but I felt like I did.
I just telling you about these. Yeah, and then you're gonna watch the review.
Second-hand experience.
And then you're gonna watch the review with like the clips added in. You're gonna be like, oh God, I'm glad I didn't watch that shit.
Same.
So yeah, that does it for this video. Until next time, this is Elvish Reviews, and I am Adam Sykes, and we will see you guys in the next video.
See you later.
But Willie's world? It's the happiest place on earth.